know for sure that Parliament is not behind Theresa May's withdrawal agreement. She's been defeated 3 times. Is there any point at all in continuing with that folly?
Well, look, we'll discuss, obviously, in Cabinet later today how we move forward. But it does remain the case that the deal the UK has negotiated with the EU remains the best deal. It's the best balance, the best compromise, if you like, between all the different objectives that we'd have. And last night, I mean, there were MPs could vote on as many different things as they wanted, and still none of them got the majority that was needed. And I think over time, colleagues on both sides, both in the Conservative Party and in other parties, will think about what the alternatives are and what happens if we don't get something agreed. So
well,
I hope we can get on to do that.
The alternative, it seems to me, is what many would see as the purest form of Brexit, is that we just leave now without a deal. That actually Theresa May's deal has been roundly defeated numerous times. Nobody really likes it. Even those who vote for it are pretending to like it and think it's the only way to get anything through. Actually, a lot of people that voted Brexit, according to the polls, think that no deal's fine, thanks. Why are we so scared, actually, of a no deal, given that when people voted Brexit, I would think 95% of them thought Brexit meant leaving the EU lock, stock and barrel, not staying in bits of it?
Well, you're right that is an alternative, and it's the default alternative now in law in 10 days' time if we don't agree something else ourselves. And by the way, also then agree that with the European Union. But Piers, there are lots of reasons to not want to have no deal. For some of our industries, where some of your viewers will be going to work right now, for some of those industries, like the car industry, for example, having no deal would be bad.
Why?
Well, because of disruption at the borders, when you've got just-in-time supply chains, when in car manufacturing.
How do you know it won't get worked out? Given that every projection that was made by senior politicians, by the Governor of the Bank of England, of the impact of a leave vote immediately, we were going to plunge into recession, 800,000 job losses. In fact, none of that has happened. So I'm just curious. I mean, I remember the debate over the euro. Yeah. If we didn't enter the euro, it was going to be a total disaster.
Yes.
We didn't enter. Best thing we never did. How can I trust you, with respect, that you know what's going to happen?
Well, I never argued we should go into the euro. I mean, what you say about the immediate aftermath of the referendum, that's a fair challenge. Of course, there was a very significant move in the value of the pound. But this is different because it's not just the response to a vote or response to some event. This is like real things would change at the border. And, for farmers, for example, the existence of tariffs in a no-deal scenario.
Real things would change.
Both for imports and exports.
It would clearly be a mess. But I would say 2 things about that. One, why are we not better prepared for a no deal, given it's always been our best negotiating card with the EU?
Yes.
Why are we so woefully underprepared for it? And secondly, I just think a lot of people now look at Parliament and they think you are completely gridlocked, right? None of you are serving the people properly. And actually, it would be messy. It might be financially difficult for a while. It might be turbulent. But actually, I would bet the country to rally and to come together. And I would also bet that in the event of a no deal, that the EU would pretty soon wake up and want to start doing proper deals with us very, very quickly. Otherwise, they would be effectively self-harming. So I don't know, watching you guys last night, I was like, well, this is getting us nowhere. Actually, why don't we just leave and work it out?
Well, Piers, to use your phrase, I didn't come into this line of work to make things, as you put it, financially difficult and turbulent. We have a responsibility as politicians and we have a responsibility in government to do the best thing for our nation. And that involves getting a good negotiated exit deal. You are right that, if you look at what happened last night and what's happened on previous occasions, we haven't yet found a way forward. Time is now, to state the blindingly obvious, time is extremely tight.
Do you believe in Brexit?
And we need to get on and do it.
Do you believe in Brexit personally?
From the day after the referendum, look, I campaigned for Remain, as you said in your introduction. From the morning after, I've been absolutely committed to leaving the European Union.
But we had Matt Hancock on. We had Matt Hancock on yesterday.
Because that was the democratic will of the British people.
Here's the reason I ask you the question. Matt Hancock was on yesterday, the Health Secretary, and he made an interesting point, I thought. Very interesting gambit for somebody who may want to be leader. He said, look, I voted Remain, as you did, but actually, I think that this is the right decision, Brexit now, because that's the way the majority of the British people voted.
Yeah.
It didn't seem that he had any conviction himself in Brexit. So I'd ask you the same question. You voted Remain. You say that immediately after the vote was taken, you moved into we've got to make this work. But do you, as a Remain voting politician in our cabinet, actually personally believe in Brexit now? And if so,
Piers,
why have you changed your mind?
Piers, to be clear, not just we've got to make this work, but recognising as a Democrat that that's the will of the British people.
I get that. I get that. But was it is it your belief that Brexit is now? Well, no. Is it your belief that Brexit is a good idea now that will work?
Yes, I think that the exit deal that the UK has negotiated with the EU is a good deal, which actually gets the best of both worlds, if you like. It delivers on the referendum. It means we can strike trade deals around the world. It ends free movement, gets us out of the agriculture policy and the fisheries policy, but still keeps a good relationship with our new neighbours and is good for some of those key industries that I was just talking about. So, yes, I think actually if you'd offered this deal on the eve of the referendum, it could have appealed to the majority of the people who were about to vote Leave and to people who were about to vote Remain.
Interesting point. So if you had your chance to vote again on either Remain or Theresa May's Brexit deal,
with this deal on the table,
which one would you have voted for?
I would go for this deal.
No, you wouldn't.
Well, why do you ask me the question, Piers?
That's a little bit like the May.
Come off it. You would have voted to Brexit rather than Remain because of Theresa May's terrible deal.
I believe this deal is a very good deal for Britain, which gets there were votes last night on the customs union. This deal has the benefits of the customs union, but without the drawbacks. We can also make our trade deals around the world. It's a good, balanced deal.
But you said that you voted Remain and you believed in Remain and you campaigned for Remain.
Yeah.
Well, this deal isn't Remain.
No, but we're almost 3 years further on now. The world has changed.
We're talking about the eve of the referendum.
You just said you would, if you had the time again, you'd vote Brexit for Theresa May's deal, right?
No, hang on. Whoa. No, you're putting words in my mouth. I don't resolve from anything I said during the referendum campaign. The decision I made at the time with the information that was then available to me, I am very, I was very happy with.
I'm sorry, with respect, hang on. With respect, you literally just said, viewers aren't stupid, they heard you. You just said you voted Remain, but if you had your chance again of a choice between Remain or Theresa May's Brexit plan, you would vote for Theresa May's Brexit plan. Unless I'm mistaken, she views this as Brexit, and so do you. So you would now, if you had your time again, you wouldn't have voted Remain, you'd have voted Brexit, right?
Piers, look, those are two different questions. The first question you asked me was if... No, hang on, stop. The first question you asked me was if this deal had been available at the time of the referendum. And yes, I am telling you very clearly, I would have gone, and I would still, and I do still go for this. I think it is the best of both worlds. That is different from asking in 2016, with what we knew then, how would you have voted? Because clearly, at that time, I voted the way I did.
Why were you, as a senior politician, so badly informed about Brexit that you would have voted completely the wrong way, as you're now admitting? Why were you not better informed? I understand why some members of the public were better informed. You're saying that you didn't know enough about it, so you voted Remain, which you now accept was completely the wrong thing to do, and that had you had Theresa May's plan, which everyone views as a complete fiasco, you'd have voted for that.
You're the only MP who thinks it's better either than any other Brexit deal or better than Remain.
I'm just staggered to hear you say that, given the choice of how you voted last time, you would now prefer Theresa May's plan. I'm amazed by that.
Well, at the time, we didn't know it was going to be possible to negotiate something like this deal. It is a good deal, which has the best aspects.
But this is the deal that's had the worst defeats in the history of Parliament.
Piers, just think about what's in this deal. It ends free movement of people, which was the single biggest thing that we heard about during the referendum and people wanting to leave. It gets us out of the common agricultural policy. the common fisheries policy. It means we stop sending large sums of money ad infinitum to Brussels, but we still have a close trading relationship with the European Union, a close partnership on things like security, on my own area in education, in research, and so many other things that are of mutual benefit. So we get it is in many ways the best of both worlds. It is a very good balance, and that is why I'm saying on the eve of the referendum,
if it's so great, why does everyone? If it's so great,
go for it.
If it's so great, why is no one voting for it? Why does everyone hate it?
So I'm not. Well, that's a very fair challenge. Why people haven't yet gone for it. Of course, over time it's got more and more traction, and people have wanted to vote on other things. But as those votes have come up, we've discovered that it wasn't that there was some hidden brilliant alternative lurking away all this time, which nobody had spotted. Because when those things have come up in Parliament, none of them have secured a majority either. And I think that over time, more and more colleagues on both sides of the House have come round to favour this deal. And although time now clearly is very, very short, there still perhaps is an opportunity this week, if we move very quickly, for us all to come together and deliver a good, balanced outcome in the interests of our country.